Hey guys, and welcome. With January looking really bleak for gaming, there isn't really too much content wise that will be coming out for the first part of the month. Not just for me, but literally anyone that's looking for something new. However, that doesn't take away from what an absolutely insane year we have for gaming in general, with tens and tens of new amazing releases coming. However, today, I wanted to focus on the 5 main games that you must play going into 2023, like games that are absolutely non-negotiable here. Some are on Game Pass, which is a really good deal in gaming, and others you unfortunately will need to pay for yourself, but we'll mention those when we go through them. But if you do go on to enjoy today's video, leave a like, it'd be very much appreciated, and do consider subscribing to the channel as well for more story-based content coming throughout the entire year, covering all of the new releases, their stories, and any lore behind that as well. Maybe even sprinkling in a couple of throwbacks there during some of the dry spots also. But without further ado everyone, let's dive straight in. The first game on today's list is one pretty close to my heart. Hogwarts Legacy. How would this game not be on this list? And it's one that I'm so fucking stoked for. This game just brings back my inner 4-year-old when playing through the original Harry Potter games on the PlayStation 2 and even the PC back at the time as well, but just absolutely modernising it. It doesn't narratively focus on one character in particular, you know, Harry Potter, and Hogwarts Legacy focuses around you. The player gives you full customization of your character and that character's story. It takes us away from that Harry Potter storyline in a way, but still keeping it very relevant in terms of the universe and the surroundings, and I really love what they've done here. Hogwarts Legacy is set around 800 years before the first Harry Potter was set, and it gives the developers a lot of creativity to explore the likes of Hogwarts, the surrounding areas, the forests, and things in ways that aren't already aligned by the books or the movies. That freedom is what will make this game an absolute banger in my opinion. Not to mention also, the size of this map is not something to take lightly here. This map is absolutely massive, and some of the insane detectives on the Hogwarts Legacy Reddit page, people have drawn out floor plans of Hogwarts, the surrounding areas, rooms, the forests outside, the lot. This will be a momentous game and potentially be probably one of the games of the year in 2023, or will definitely be voted that as well in my opinion. This game for me will be a straight up buy. The next game on the list is one that may surprise a few people. However, some gamers my age or older may remember its predecessor, Dead Island 2. Dead Island 1 for me was one of the most fun games of my childhood. The characters you met throughout, the absolutely mental weaponry that you could craft, like the electric shotguns or Spaz 12s, awesome melee weapons, and to be fair, probably one of the best introductions to a video game ever.
Drink blood like a vampire without warning. Who do you voodoo, bitch? Stand up. Sam B got the thing that go bump in the night. Whoa. Who do you voodoo, bitch?
That song still lives rent-free in my head, even to this day. Dead Island 2 brings all of that hype and nostalgia back 10 times harder. I really have high hopes for this game, and I pray to the gods that it is as good as what the original was. Not just from a story perspective though, but from a gameplay, a sandbox, and sheer playtime perspective too. I put so many hours into the original Dead Island, and I really hope I can replicate that, or even further replicate that, going into Dead Island 2. It's definitely a game that you should shortlist for 2023. However, I must say with the previous game releasing so long ago, all the way back in 2011, it's obviously going to be made by a completely new team and people that may not carry the same weight as what they did in the first game. So maybe wait for the reviews before pre-ordering and before going out and purchasing the game, but I'll be obviously getting it day one and going through the campaign, doing the story review, and also generally review of the game itself and comparing it to the first Dead Island 2. And probably a shed load of other videos also. So if you want to know if it's worth getting on release, this will be the best place for you, so make sure you subscribe. But for me, I think you should 100% shortlist this game. The Day Before is a game that I've dreamt of for a very long time. With extraction royales becoming the in thing right now in gaming, this could absolutely blow up if it's done correctly. Dropping into a map with your team, exploring, looting, taking over houses and compounds in the country, farmhouses for that matter as well, losing the likes of gas stations, etc. like that in a zombie-filled gaming universe. This really has the potential to be fantastic, but I no longer hide behind reality here. We all know what modern games do to these highly anticipated games, taking Cyberpunk as an example, Halo Infinite even in that case as well, with this lack of content and emphasis on monetary gains, and the list goes on. But on the flip side, There are also examples of what teams can do when they put time and effort into polishing their games and adding those little features that go a long way, putting more time into the finer details, such as God of War 2018, God of War Ragnarok, The Last of Us 2 for example. These are games, yes, created by huge studios and funded by huge corporations with huge budgets, but that doesn't define why a game is polished or not polished. Halo Infinite had a budget of $500 million, and look how that turned out. Mytona Studios can create a game here that could be the next big thing in gaming for 2023. Something that, if really taken their time and care with, I can almost guarantee that it's going to completely bang. But they cannot be lured into this live service temptation of prioritizing microtransactions and monetary gains. This game needs to have an interesting plot and storyline. It needs to have fun and meaningful objectives, fun gameplay mechanics, and plenty of places to explore, environments, biomes, and ultimately, the gameplay loop cannot be repetitive that it bores the players so much to death that it gives them no motivation to play the game. Halo Infinite is an example there, Battlefield 2042 and Hazard Zone is the best example I can give. Super boring, so much potential, not executed correctly. I just don't want The Day Before to be another one of those games that had it all the potential, and for it to turn out to be a game where the player base dies in a month or two. It's not what I want to happen here. From the gameplay I've seen, from what I've heard, and the trailers, the marketing, it's done its job, and it's got me really hyped for this game. I am very excited to see where this game has in store and where it goes from here, but I'm also very cautious. I would recommend waiting for the first couple of weeks worth of reviews before going ahead and buying this game, because you may be very well disappointed if it doesn't turn out the way you hoped. But ultimately, what do you think of The Day Before? The trailers, the gameplay, teasers, and other things as well. Do you think it's going to be a fun game? Do you think it will live up to the hype? Or do you think it'll be a broken mess upon release? Let me know down below in the comments. But ultimately, I would shortlist The Day Before. The next title again is one that's very close to my heart, one that I've grown up playing with and loved to play with my friends when we all got it for Christmas. That is Assassin's Creed Mirage. Assassin's Creed Mirage is set in the golden age of Baghdad, where you, the player, go through and seek answers, becoming one of the most versatile assassins the franchise has ever seen. This game strikes home hard with me personally because of 1, the memories I have playing multiplayer with friends, and 2, generally the Assassin's Creed storylines are always very long and very fun to play through. Ultimately, the story will most likely only be single player, but I used to love playing multiplayer with friends on Assassin's Creed Unity for example, even though that game was absolutely fucking ass, but sneaking around, assassinating the AI, doing missions undetected was just so awesome and an amazing feeling to be able to do that with friends as well. I'm extra excited about this game in particular, just because in the last few years, the Assassin's Creed franchise has become one of those games that you think of like, yeah, it used to be great, but it's just fallen off since then. With then almost always having a 1 to 2 year release window, they became just very dull and just a bit meh. However, in the last few years, Assassin's Creed Mirage has had a 3+ year development cycle, and Ubisoft and the team seem to be taking this game very seriously, with them even realising themselves that the franchise had fallen off slightly and become a bit of a cash cow, which is why, in a sense, they've cancelled that 1 to 2 year life cycle of pumping games out, and they're taking more time with this one. I have high hopes for this game, I really do, and I truly believe it's one to shortlist for 2023. However, it doesn't take away some of the awful launches that some of these Assassin's Creed games have had, Unity being a very good example there. With this also taking advantage of the brand new console generation and all of the new 40 series graphics cards that have came out for PC as well. I think this game is going to have so much to offer, but with Assassin's Creed being very hard to judge in terms of how well it's going to do, I would shortlist this game. Then last but not least, because there are many games that are going to be absolutely fantastic this year, we've saved the best till last. Starfield. Starfield is a game that's going to bring a load of new players over to Bethesda games and even Xbox in some way as well. Not to mention, it's also day one on Game Pass and an Xbox and PC exclusive. This will be a huge W for Microsoft and Xbox, but pretty shitty for those PlayStation players. This personally for me will be one of the first Bethesda games I really sink my teeth into and really finish that story off. And with the terrible game that was Fallout 76 and the awful reputation that had, with all of its bugs and just a general shitty way to make money, Bethesda's overall rap and reputation has gone slightly downhill, and rightly so. Starfield is a chance for Bethesda to win back the players by making one of the most expansive games ever on console. With it taking obvious inspiration from the likes of Star Citizen, Starfield lets you travel to over 1,000 different planets and 100 different solar systems, so the game is absolutely gigantic. Now let's have a very short, sweet and simple chat about this. I can almost guarantee to you guys that this game will be a fucking broken mess at launch. You're telling me that a game with over 100 different solar systems, 1,000 different planets, made by Bethesda, will be perfect at launch? Especially this day and age where live service is mostly the priority over an actual finished product. I would be very wary of this game come launch week, and I think people, especially on PC, are going to run into some serious performance issues. So for me, this may be controversial here, but Starfield is a straight up shortlist for me. I would not pre-order this game, I would not go straight and buy this game. I would check out the reviews for the PC, the reviewer codes that are sent out to all of the YouTubers and creators and journalists. I would pay very close attention to what they're going to say about it on all platforms and not just the one that you're playing on. This is going to be a freaking huge game, and it will come with its performance issues and general issues at launch. Nevertheless, you should 100% shortlist Starfield, and wait maybe a week or two for those reviews to come flying in and the first day one patch to go out. As good as the game sounds, and it sounds really good, it almost sounds too good to be true, with the gameplay reveal looking pretty rough at times, to be quite honest, and that engine being pretty outdated really, so I'm surprised they're still going on that. So take that into account, but I would recommend to shortlist Starfield. But all that is going to be my top 5 games that you must play going into 2023. There are obviously so many other games such as the Dead Space remake, Forspoken coming out in January, Skull and Bones which have been in development for like 15 years, Destiny 2 Lightfall which is going to be huge for the franchise coming out too in February, but these ones are the ones for me, my personal opinion, what are going to set the gaming world alight, and ones I think will get the most praise. But if I've missed any, or if you think that others deserve to be in place of others on this list, let me know in the comments down below. Do leave a like on today's video, guys. It'd be very much appreciated. Subscribe to the channel as well if you are brand new. It'd be also really appreciated. And we'll see everyone next time.